Thank you so much, Hamad Kalkaba Malboum, President of the National Olympic and Sports Committee, for talking to CRTV. Paris 2024 is over, Mr. President. Team Cameroon came to Paris with 6 athletes. No medal obtained for Team Cameroon. We want to imagine it's a president with mixed feelings at the end of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games.
Honestly, I can say that I'm not happy with the result globally. But participating in the Olympic Games is also very important for each national Olympic committee in the world. We are 2006 in the world, and the 2006 Olympic Committee cannot get each one a medal. So we are among those who couldn't get the medal today. But yesterday we got the medal. Just to remind that since 1968, Cameroon could start to get the medal. Today we don't have. I'm not satisfied. But this is the way of sports. You go to the competition, you can get the victory or not. In this case, we didn't get the victory. But we can say that some of our performances are good, like our sprinter, Mr. Eseme. He reached a performance of 9.98. This is among the best 11 African who reached the semi-final in the sprint in 100. So this is something that we must consider. We must consider that we have the talent in the country, and we need to strategize our system to reach the highest level in the future.
You just cited the name of Emmanuel Esemalogbede a while ago. He happens to be amongst the 6 athletes here alongside Serahan Fuentebotenis, who managed to cross at least a round in their respective competitions, with the 4 others who didn't do so. Do we say, or do we have the belief they were not up to their levels in their particular events?
You see, in each situation, we must consider the talent first. If the talent is not enough high, then the performance could not be high. I can take the example of this athlete from Burkina Faso, the triple jumper. Last year, 2023, he was the world champion in Budapest. But this time he came 5th. What happened between that performance last year and the performance that he realized this year? So each competition has its own reality, and then we must consider that the spirit of the competition, the environment of the competition, and the moment that we are competing. So I can say that they did their best, but they couldn't reach more than what they have done. Well, I am a sportsman. I was an athlete. I was an handball player. And each competition has its different reality. So that reality, we must respect the reality of that competition. Sarah did her best. She couldn't go further than 1 round. And SMA could reach the semi-final. And he made his best performance at the semi-final. And the others, so they compete, then they couldn't even go beyond 1 round. But this is the reality of the competition. We must conclude that we are not enough performant, and then we must make an effort to be more performant in the future.
And making an effort to be more performant in the future, Mr. President, takes us back to the preparatory phase prior to this competition, with many believing that 2 weeks for preparation for some of the athletes here in France wasn't quite enough. As we know, Esemalogbede was preparing and training in Portugal. Linda Ngunu had been in France for several weeks before the competition.
I don't want to go in that area because it's open to the public. The right proposal has been made to the leadership of the country and then to the Ministry of Sports, the public services. We were expecting their support earlier. Unfortunately, it came later. So we are doing what we have from the support of the public services. In this case, for the future, we must learn. We must sit, all the actors involved in this process, we must sit, discuss, and find the right strategy to be implemented.
Cameroon is blessed with a lot of talents out of the country, especially those with dual citizenship. We discovered some of them during the last African Athletics Championship in Douala, who competed for Cameroon. What is the National Olympic and Sports Committee doing in order for us to, in the future competitions, make use of some of these talents with dual citizenship to compete for Cameroon?
No, but we cannot give more than we have. We have offered some financial support from the International Olympic Committee through the Olympic Solidarity System. And then often we provide the 6 scholarship dedicated to the most performant athletes of the country. That we have done it in 2002. In 2022. So now we need more support from the government, who is also interested in the process for getting the performance. We put in place in Cameroon what we call the group of performance. That government can support financially. The government decided to support, but it comes 3 months before the Olympic Games. So we must get it at the beginning of the Olympic. Like now, when we go back, we must sit, discuss the participation of Cameroon in the Olympic Games, and then we plan the future. With that, all the stakeholders in the process must come to provide the means to support our athletes, the performance athletes, that could be prepared for 2028 or 2032 in Brisbane. According to that program, then we will participate also to the intermediary competition like the African Games or Commonwealth Games, Francophonie Games, and Islamic Solidarity Games. That's for the preparation or the final stage of the competition, which is the Olympic Games. But if we don't do that, we are going to start the same system, complaining at the end of our participation, we don't have enough athletes, we don't have enough performance, so we are turning around without reaching the main target. So it is important for us to leave that process to go for a professional one. Because not only the Olympic Committee is one of the stakeholders in the system. It's not alone on the sphere of the competition. We are the government, Olympic movement, and then also the supporters from the economic system in Cameroon. Because we don't have the sponsors in Cameroon. Why? We have many important companies involved in the, in the economic process. They can support the youth. They can support our effort. They don't do it. The municipality even. So I think it is important to take a general feeling, discussion, reflection on how our sport could be, our athlete could be prepared for the great competition like the Olympic Games.
The National Olympic and Sports Committee being one of the stakeholders, we understand the committee has accompanied most athletes to prepare for other competitions, not just the Olympic Games. Emmanuel Eseme is one of those athletes, and other athletes likewise who've benefited from enormous support from the government, and likewise the National Olympic and Sports Committee. Mr. President, Team Cameroon came to Paris 2024, 6 athletes, 4 disciplines. The absence of 4 disciplines like weightlifting, boxing, for the very first time, Cameroon absent with boxing at the final phase of the Olympic Games, disciplines which have hitherto previously secured medals for Cameroon in different competitions.
But those people, those sports that you are mentioning, they were not qualified. And we must be honest that the best of our wrestlers, of our weightlifters, they left Cameroon. They are now in the team of France and Australia and other countries in the world. So how can I solve that problem? This is the freedom of each person to go where that person wants to move.
We have the next Olympic Games coming up in 2028, Los Angeles in 2028. We have lessons to draw at the end of this competition to better prepare and do better for Los Angeles 2028.
Often we will do at the level of the National Olympic and Sports Committee our own role in time. It is planned. We have the strategy. We have the development of our program. But our means cannot cover our expectation. We need more means. That means that we need to come together, all the stakeholders in the process, and to set up a very strong strategy globally with the financial resources needed by the implementation of that program.
Mr. President, we had the head of state, President Paul Biya, present during the official opening ceremony for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. What's the importance we give to the presence of the head of state?
The presence of the head of state, the President of the Republic of Cameroon, His Excellency Mr. Paul Biya, at the opening ceremony is very important for us as sportsmen and women of Cameroon. It's very important because he came to honor our participation, the team Cameroon, but above all to understand how this environment is organized and how they can learn from that environment to support efficiently the Cameroon sports movement and the Cameroon Olympic movement.
Hamad Kalkaba Malboum, President of the National Olympic and Sports Committee, thanks so much for having accepted to be a guest on CRTV.
It was my pleasure, and I would like to thank you, CRTV, to support our effort and to explain the real situation to our community in Cameroon.
Thank you so much.